All right, here we go. The definition and application of evidence-based practice. First off, before we define evidence-based practice, I want to talk about what it is not. It is not just tradition. Evidence-based practice is not the same thing as just tradition and the same thing that people have been doing for as long as they can remember. That does not make something based upon evidence. Now, there are some traditions that are based on evidence, but the very fact that people are doing it one way just because that's how they've always been doing it, that does not mean that that practice is based upon evidence. Evidence-based practice is not something that is only used in fancy, official, high-end labs and studies. It is used there, and that is definitely something they focus on, but that is not the only place where uh, people practice uh, and use evidence all the time. And evidence-based practice is not just something we do so that we can get paid by insurance. It's something we should be doing for the benefit of our patients. So here are a couple definitions of what evidence-based practice is. First one, it is the integration of best research evidence with our clinical expertise and our patients' unique values and circumstances. And then another one, evidence-based practice is based on integrating critically appraised research results with practitioners' clinical expertise and the client's preferences, beliefs, and values. Both of these I took from the PowerPoint on the definition of evidence-based practice. Here are just a couple sources of where we can look for things to influence our practice based upon evidence. The first would be our patients' unique values and circumstances, such as, like I said, their values, preferences, expectations, the way they look, the way they act when they're in the clinic. All of these things we need to be taking into account, and these should all affect the way we go about using the evidence around us to affect and influence our practice. Another one is the best research evidence. This, in my opinion, is where the real meat of evidence-based practice is. This is where you'll find studies, trials, case series, all the different kinds of scholarly works and ideas that influence our practice the most. And the last one is going to be our own clinical expertise, which will become personal knowledge, expectations, and as we enter the profession, we become experts in different kinds of fields that will increase our, obviously, it'll increase our expertise. We'll know more, we'll know what to look for, and that, along with these other two, will influence how we practice with our patients. Now, how do we apply this? How do we apply all these different forms of evidence-based practice in practice? There are 5 steps to help us remember it. First step is to ask a focused clinical question. Easy way to remember how to do this is the PICO acronym. The P stands for the patient or the problem that we are addressing, that we seek to remedy. The E is the exposure. The C is the comparison group. So E and C go together. It's the thing that you are measuring. And then O is outcomes. That will be the change you hope to see. You want to search for the best research evidence. You're going to do this by searching several different kinds of medical databases. You're going to cast a wide net. You're going to make sure that you don't throw anything out. You want to set good inclusion, exclusion criteria so that you include all the studies you should, as well as throw out all the studies that have no influence, no impact on your clinical question. Once you have all of the studies that you want to look at, you then need to appraise them. You need to determine their validity. You want to make sure that they are relatable and reliable for your clinical question. And a lot of other people will, in their presentations, will be talking about how to appraise different kinds of research. And then you want to integrate the evidence you found with into your clinical question, and then translate that into practice. And then you want to look back and reflect on this process. You want to know how you can get better, how you can improve, so that you can improve both the way that you look for evidence to support your practice, and so that you can just improve your practice overall. Thank you.